Hey there YouTube, this is iM414 and welcome to another exciting episode of TeardownTube. I've probably shown this either in this video or, well, obviously in this video, but I've shown this in another video that I did a teardown of this Brother Pete Touch thermal printer, like a label printer. I showed that I got this guy. Got this for I think like $3 or $4, and it's just one of these little bedside radios, and yeah, you can hear it works. Interestingly enough, this was made for the Zune. This looks like an iPod connector, but it is not. It is a Zune connector. It won't fit an iPod. And so, yeah, this was one of those sort of awkward devices that was supposed to counter the iPod. It never really did. Anyway, I will take out my trusty pocket knife that I've branded with my own signature YouTube channel name. Anyway, we'll pull this guy off. So yeah, just do a quick little teardown. Either that or a flathead screwdriver ought to work. And we just want to get this grill off. So yeah, I bought this dirt cheap because I just want the speakers, if I can be honest. I'm building a tabletop arcade system using an Ion iPad arcade shell, sort of the MDF wood shell as a base, so I don't have to build everything from scratch. And it needs some speakers, and I thought I could either buy the speakers raw, just like a pair of 2-inch speakers off eBay, which will set me back about the same price as I bought this entire unit. So it's sort of a no-brainer that I should just use this guy. And I did end up, just a fair warning, cutting the side of my hand slightly while opening this up the last time, so hopefully this time I will be wiser. There we go. Sort of this protective material is starting to come up. These are the guys I'm interested in. Nice little speakers, actually. This sounds pretty good for the size. It sounds pretty boomy. I like me some bass. It's all about that bass. Anyway, so yeah. Beyond this, we have some hidden screws. Yeah, this guy just runs off of 3 AA batteries. It does get kind of distortion-y. These batteries are kind of half dead, so maybe that's why. Anyway, 5-volt DC input. Just looks like it has a standard barrel plug. Positive center, important, outer sleeve negative. Everyone should just follow that convention. An aux in, and that's it. And some bass ports. That's pretty nice there. Has a spot for a remote. Didn't have a remote. Obviously, I got it secondhand, so it's God knows where. Anyway, peel off some rubber feet because they always hide some screws. We have 4 screws here. Okay. Let's flip her over. This part slides out, sort of, and you gotta give it a little bit of a wiggle and a jiggle. And they're basically plastic clips on the side that you have to slide out just enough that you can pop her off. It's a little bit finicky. There we go. There's a single, very large thing, and this is where I cut myself. I was prying and I slipped, and this edge are very sharp. So we're going to try to do that more carefully this time. No promises though. Getting there with the pocket knife. Yeah, this is a very beefy connector, so many wires, and it's pretty thick gauge, so that's likely why I cut myself. Because this takes kind of a lot of force, actually, to disengage. There. Okay. Woohoo! Got it open the second time without cutting myself. Anyway, the buttons are just tack switches mounted on these little boards here. Nothing really that interesting. There is a tiny little chip here, a SOIC. And this guy is marked Xbox 2. I am not making that up. There, you can see it, Xbox 2. So, confirmed, Xbox 2 is in here. Anyway, yeah, that is, don't really know. It goes to a couple of the pins there. just looking at what it might be associated with. There's some little SOT transistor package looking chips there. The only thing really on here is the dock connector. So maybe that's some sort of amplifier, or maybe Zune requires some sort of verification chip in order to do audio out. I don't know. Anyway, it's Microsoft. They labeled it Xbox. Well, I mean, this is Altec Lansing. However, you know, the dock is made for a Zune apparently, which is kind of an odd choice. Anyway, yeah, there's not really much on here. It's just a simple couple, 8-pin jobby. There's a resistor capacitor right next to it, and it looks like 3 of the traces go directly to this. So it's probably some sort of interface chip or something or another. Anyway, not that interesting. What is interesting, you saw this guy had a blue backlight, and there's an LED here. So if you wanted to, you could swap that out for any color that you wanted. You could make any color backlight that you desired. Pretty interesting. That's just kind of free floating there and just pointing into the light box. Definitely props for ease of modding if you wanted to make this a red backlit display, or green, or blue, or white, or whatever you want. Anyway, here's the package for the IR sensor. It's just a 3-pin package. Yeah, nothing that complicated there. Very nice use of foam on the inside to, pad everything, I guess, in between the different chambers to seal everything properly. There's some sticky gunk here to stick down the antenna wire, which was conveniently cut off. However, since I have access to the inside, that'd be easy enough to resolder a longer wire, but I'm not going to use this as a stereo system, so not necessary. Anyway, we have our LCD, which is just a simple sort of chip on glass style, well, lead on glass, that goes directly to the board there. There is a chip, a TSOP chip, right behind the display. That's the LCD driver. And then we have, let's see, we have a chip here with a firmware sticker, so that's probably going to be the main processor. We have a Texas Instruments chip next to a big inductor right in here. So that, focus, thank you. So that tells me that that's something related to the power supply. And let's see, we have this sort of little module here, which nicely has a little ring of exposed copper for possibly a shielding can, but it doesn't have one. And this guy is going to be the digital FM radio, and you can see the crystal for the radio chip there, and it's going to be like an all-in-one PLL and everything built into it, all snazzy like. And yeah, other than that, let's see, we have another Texas Instruments chip down here, and we can see it's sort of symmetric. There are two 22, sorry about that, you cannot see. So that's, oops, this guy down in here underneath this white wire, and that is going to be the digital audio amplifier. You can see a couple inductors flanking it, and it's pretty symmetrical. So that's going to be for the left and right audio channels, and those snake up into the main cavity here. And then there's finally another cable which goes to the backboard, which has the auxiliary and the DC input, and that's all that's in there. So as for this board, yeah, no real point taking out. There's going to be practically nothing, maybe just some passives on the other side. But it looks like just a handful of chips. Maybe there's some 8-pin chips and another TSOP chip. This had a marking for, what was it called? Surround effect and bass boost and whatnot. So maybe there's some DSP processing going on, but not really much. I wouldn't really think that there'd be many. Anyway, so now that we've gotten that out, let's pry up these guys. I already partially got that one out. And there are more hidden screws. There's so many hidden screws in this guy. As I stab myself in the finger for your enjoyment. And we have 6 more screws and a very sneaky hidden screw that I didn't realize was here, and it took me half an hour to realize, why am I prying this plastic and it's not coming out? And there we go. We should be good to go. This guy, there's some foam sealant around all the edges, and that's just, you know, to keep the air pressure up so that, you know, you have better acoustic performance. Nothing worse than having a creaky cabinet because, you know, there's air going in and out where it's not supposed to be. Anyway, this is a sealed enclosure that's ported in the back. Not fully sealed, I guess you could say. Anyway, yeah, you can see here, big honking magnets. That's what you want to see in your speakers. If you have tiny little wimpy magnets, your speakers aren't going to be that powerful. Yeah, these are about 2 inches. They nicely have mounting points for screws, so this will make it very easy. I can cut a hole in my my arcade cabinet and just drill holes for the 4 screws, and we should be good to go. Then it's just a matter of me adding a digital amplifier chip. I'm going to use my own. I bought a cheap one off eBay, and we should be good to go. The speakers are even branded Altec Lansing, interestingly enough. And the model number is LO2006A04-04-A. And it has a star M0809 underneath that, which might be a date code, actually. That might be 8th week of 2009 or something like that. Anyway, yeah, no point in really taking these speakers out, but you can just kind of see the sizing of these speakers. They're pretty hefty, actually, for 2-inch speakers. They weigh, you know, a good deal. And they actually sound pretty good. At least I listened to the radio for a couple minutes on this just to make sure it was working, and it sounded not that bad given the size of this. So yeah, the only shortcoming really is the fact that it has Zune compatibility. Well, it's not really a shortcoming, but obviously it would have been better if this were compatible with, you know, iDevices because, well, everyone has them. But anyway, I wasn't even planning on using that for this, and at the very least it does have an auxiliary input, which would be good enough to use with pretty much everything under the sun. So anyway, I'm going to put this back together, and yeah, we'll just speed through that. And there we go, as good as old. Turns on still. Yep, you can switch between Zune, aux, FM, sound effect bass booster on. I have no idea how to change them. Oh, that's to change the station. Maybe if I press and hold source, maybe not. No, that'll just change the source. Nope, that does absolutely nothing. Anyway, maybe you need the remote control to change these extra features. But anyway, yeah, everything works, and I don't know why I put this back together because I actually need this in parts. Anyway, I just want to show you guys that these can be easily serviced if you need to. Anyway, this will be a great source for the speakers. I might be able to cut out the amplifier chip and use that on its own. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed me taking apart the Altec Lansing InMotion. I don't believe I read off the model number. Wow. iM414. And yeah, pretty good sounding. This does not have a date on it. It does have ELA bass? I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, and a bit of sticky schmutz there. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.